big, beautiful smile.
A gap. We are recording.
Like,
We are live. Good morning, good
good
afternoon,
morning.
good evening, good day. It depends on where you are or when you are watching in the world. If you're watching us live or if you're watching this replay, welcome. My name is Clara Lyons-DeVaughn. I am the broker owner of Lyonsview Realty. We provide residential, commercial for small businesses and nonprofits, and property management services. Have the resources, the information, and the tips to make the best financial and wealth-based decisions. Financial Fridays and in the future. So you can watch us live on YouTube, on Facebook, on Fridays at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe to the channel. And you can catch the replay on YouTube anytime. Because we have a phenomenal guest today. There's going to be a lot of information that's going to touch your life. Um, our broadcast, we share a lot of financial information, but wealth is more than finances. It's your intellectual wealth, that thing that's in between your ears. And our authors have a great deal of intellectual wealth. So March was Be an Author Month, and there are so many wonderful authors out there with messages and information that I want to share with you. I think we're going to do another segment on Saturdays on a continuous basis so that I can introduce to you as many authors as possible and expose you to the intellectual wealth that they have. And I want you to add these authors to your reading list, add their books to your gift list. Other different holidays are coming up, so you want to get the book for yourself. So today we have Brother Chauncey Taylor. Hey, Chauncey, how are you? Can you hear me? I don't know if he can hear me. Well, I'll tell you a little bit about Mr. Taylor. He is an aspiring author. He's written two books that have been very helpful to those who may be struggling with the same demons he's overcome. His first book, How Adversity Prepared Me to Change, is about his upbringing in New Orleans, Louisiana, downtown area, in the poverty stricken neighborhoods of the Sixth Ward, where he's seen it all and been through it all as well. His mother encouraged him often as the only boy of 5 kids to be the best man. He was always smart and he always earned certificates for classroom assignments. And then things kind of changed for uh, the worse. He experienced going to prison multiple times, and he's been behind bars many of his life. Blah. He's been behind bars many years of his life. So he came out, turned his life around, and his second book, Serving Two Masters, Dysfunction by Circumstances, is about undergoing a complete transformation and the steps necessary to choose one's path for the execution of a plan and how you deal with everyday life on its terms from a Christian perspective. I'm really excited to have Mr. Taylor with us here today. And I'm hoping we've got, can you hear me, Chauncey? Can you, uh-oh, he went out. Let's see if I can bring him back. There we go. He's coming back into to the studio. Can you hear me now? Are you there?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. How are you today?
I'm doing fine, actually.
Good. You know, you know There is a powerful, powerful word when um, interruptions happen. you know, when things happen that just kind of take you off the is second time uh, trying to do this interview, and we've had a lot of technical difficulties. So that just means it's a powerful message. It's a powerful word, and we're if you look back at as a teenager and as a young adult, who was Chauncey D? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, did I lose him again? Let's see here. I've got multiple screens open, so I can't see you. Let's see here. Easy. It has been so crazy. This studio thing. No, I can't see. This is so weird. Mm-mm-mm.
I'm still here.
I can't see you. I don't know.
Well, I'll just answer
Let's
the
see.
questions.
The devil is a liar.
He
Can you hear
is.
me? Hear me?
I can hear
Can
you perfectly fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So going back as a teen, up until my
Yeah.
adult years, I'll take the time to address growing up as a teen. A lot of experience took place that allowed me to embody the guy that I was then. A child of experience, a child of an inquisition, a child of curiosity. Just wanting to figure out what it was that I wanted to do when I get older. At that time, I was involved with a lot of different things from an illegal standpoint, drugs, alcohol, running the streets and things of that nature until I caught my first stint, which is jail time. I caught my first sentence and I was able to increase my vocabulary. I didn't graduate from school. I wasn't illiterate. I just was the type of child that was degenerate. I lacked the effort of being a well mannered or well behaved child. And my patience ran short with school, so I dropped out. And I caught my first sentence, and I was able to increase my knowledge inside of prison. So I read the dictionary, I read a few other things, and I actually studied some schoolwork, but I didn't accomplish my GED on my first sentence. It wasn't until I caught my second that I was able to obtain my GED. I did get my GED. I proceeded to get my college course teachings and tutorings. And from that point, I was released. And after serving an extensive period of time on my second term, and I was able to further pursue my college endeavors in social work, into which I'm still involved now.
Awesome. Awesome. So if you're looking at Chauncey as an adult, um, who do you want to be now?
Well, now I see myself as wanting to be the person that I am. I mean, I'm a very I'm a God fearing man, first of all, pardon the interruption. I'm a God-fearing man first. I'm a son. I'm a father. And I'm a guy that's committed to the strong effort of becoming a bachelor of social working with individuals who may have had similar experiences that I did, going through the identity crisis of trying to figure out what it was that I wanted to do right now. An aspiring author, I've become very in tune with writing, being able to embrace these qualifications about myself. I think that now pursuing that I have going on as a two-time author, currently in school to pursue my bachelor's degree in social work and in psychology. Um, so like what I'm doing right now is actually modeling myself to be the perfect design for young teenage boys to follow.
Mhm. I, I think it's really great because one of the things, when we were chatting, and you were talking about the young Chauncey who wanted to be the superhero, and every kid wants to model whoever their favorite superhero is, and then you have the people in the neighborhood who become your superhero, and you're modeling that person. And as you have evolved, you've become, as we say, a new creature in Christ, and you know wanting to be a person that young people can look up to say, hey, you're not your past, you're not the things, you're not the mistakes of the past, but you can be a new person and have a new life, and to show that you can come through that adversity and get to a new place and move on, and to be that role model now to say, hey, you can get through it, you can come through it, and you can do something different. So it's very apropos that the name of your book is Adversity Propelled Me to Change. Adversity propelled me to change. So how did you come to write Adversity Propelled Me to Change?
I came to write how adversity propelled me to change due to a lot of inconsistent circumstances in my life, where I was trying to find out so okay, like that book after I had experienced maybe celebrating life after I came home from my second stint. I was locked away 17 and a half years, and I thought that, hey, a celebration should be fine. Being able to enjoy myself should be fine. To do so much to where I actually lost my focus. And after being placed in the rehabilitation center, I was able to regain consciousness and be able to submit myself back into school and get back on course. Okay, so after having experienced that, I was told by my wife that I needed to sit down and actually figure out what it was that I wanted to do. So I was encouraged and motivated by my wife and my mom to sit down and actually focus on getting back on track to whatever it was I wanted to pursue when I came home. So I wrote, I was told to write a book. And when I wrote that one book, I actually started my second book after I wrote the first book. So How Adversity Propelled Me to Change is a book that entails my upbringing, childhood, coming up in a single parent home, going through living in a poverty stricken neighborhood, in different communities that was torn down and riddled with crime and drugs and other infestations of, contamination. So, just taking everything that I've been through and being able to put it into that first material actually was, the recipe that it had to take and was necessary to provide that material to individuals to believe that all hope isn't gone because you have a past or may have had a past. You can rise above your current circumstances and don't allow anything to obscure your focus from accomplishing that common goal that you may have had or maybe even wanting to be that superhero, or maybe even wanting to be that individual in the family, which may have been labeled as a black sheep to break the family curse.
Indeed. I like what you said. Uh, you became conscious, and somebody listening might think you were unconscious, like you were laid out, but consciousness is a state of mind. Consciousness is a state of mind. So when you change your state of mind, you know, that's a form of becoming conscious. That was really powerful. That um, hit me in a particular way, because I think a lot of people are not conscious. They're moving through life, just being and doing things without really knowing or being aware of the impact of their actions, not only on other people but on themselves, right? Like how the world is causing them to show up in the world. So the fact that you are now aware and that you're a conscious being, then you're aware of the choices that you're making and how those choices impact other people and how those choices impact yourself. So I think it's powerful that you were able to take all of that, put it into words and put it into the book. The other thing think that's really amazing is that you studied the dictionary, with your time. You took your time and you did things that were going to propel your mind, increase, who you are, build yourself up so that you could communicate to people the message that, is very, very important, which is, being conscious, also moving through the adversity to change, and looking at, because I don't think we take time out sometimes to look at what made us the way we are, right? And how, looking back on that, you have to acknowledge it before you can move forward. So I applaud you for that. Yeah, definitely applaud you for that. Um, you're welcome. So what do you want people to take away from Adversity Propelled Me to Change? Like, yeah.
The takeaways. So, and I like how you address the initial effort of me taking the time to break down the analysis of reading and interpreting definitions of words to develop character, persona, demeanor,
Mm.
uh, and such. So your mind is a muscle, like every other part of your body. You have to utilize the compartments of your mind that you do not use, right? Because it doesn't take any effort to do wrong or commit some type of illegal act that doesn't benefit you at all, but away from you. Having the time that has been taken away from me, I think that people should take away from this conversation the fact that don't waste time. Time is something you can't get back. Money is expendable. You could always lose money and you could get it again. But time, you have to utilize time in such a divine manner to where it's almost as if today would be your last day or the next second may be your last. Um, read, study, always increase the value of yourself. Read a book, interpret information, study human behavior, interpret a conversation, movies, develop a conceptual basis. Don't just look at a movie for the sex scene or the crime scene. Look at the movie for the overall perspective of what it's based on or what it's surrounded by. As you mentioned, being a product of my environment at some point or another has made me the individual that I am today. A lot of people that I was once affiliated with, those guys look at me like, hey man, like that can't be the same guy that I grew up with. That can't be the same guy that I sold drugs with. That can't be the same guy that I got high with. Yes, it is. I mean, you have to go through a process of transformation. Jesus went through it when he went up on the mountain of transfiguration. Moses went through it. So you have to break down yourself. You have to destroy the old you. And as you mentioned, becoming a new creature. When you become an individual of change, you have to create a mechanism for yourself to become more meticulous in thought, right? You have to reprocess and retrain yourself to think more positive, to think um, more of what you can create and what how you can become a strategic builder of not just yourself, but of other individuals. Because what people see, they mimic that. As you mentioned, like growing up, I had idols in the hood. Growing up in the neighborhood where drug dealers and killers was my role models, and having tried to mimic that behavior, I found myself in various circumstances that kind of like it displaced me, and it made me realize, well, hey, those guys were leading me wrong. So I have to find my own sense of direction in life. So sometimes don't allow people, maybe all the time, don't allow people to give you a label or a title or maybe even a sense of direction in life. Try to find your own sense of direction. The books that I have, it actually helps you. A lot of people want to change, but they don't know how to change. They want to ask individuals, hey man, how did you accomplish being the person that you are, or maybe even becoming the person that you are? This book gives you direction, it gives you focus, it gives you intricate details about how you can go about changing your life. Like most people, social media has made it to where you actually have to like, a person to seek approval of their characteristics. No. Social media is basically for what the purpose of what we are doing right now. Like, getting the information out there that change is possible, creativity is possible, establishing a level of entrepreneurship is out there in your career, in your career path. So like people need to take the time. Like you said, most people don't take the time to think. If you like unconscious was like you said, it wasn't a sense of unconscious to where I was dead or asleep. No, unconscious is not actually not thinking about what I'm doing or what it is that I want to do to navigate my life in the right direction. So becoming conscious is reading the books of W.E.B. Du Bois, The Miseducation of the Negro. Reading books about Muhammad Ali, reading books about the miseducation of our individual society and how we have become discourse by the level that has propelled us to think that what I'm doing is right to me. No. So if you look at things the way you saw them all the time, I think that a lot of people would 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 be, it's like almost what the Bible says, when the blind lead the blind, you know, you both will fall into the ditch. So you have to have somebody that's conscious. That's why God or Jesus sent the disciples out by twos. What one didn't know or what one wasn't good at, the other one was. So it's always good to have a diabolical mind. It's always good to have a two-pronged conversation. It's always good to have a second opinion on whatever it is that you think is right, because the Bible also says this: there is a way that seems right to a man, but the end thereof is destruction. So if you're looking for approval, if you're looking for that blueprint, that creative design to lay a foundation of structure, to create a strategic effort on the approach of change, log on to Amazon, and this material is available. How reversible propel to change. Serving two massive dysfunction by circumstance. I've been through it, so I don't want you to go down the path to destruction. I want you to walk the straight and narrow road that leads to eternal destination.
Indeed. I like you were saying one of the takeaways is don't waste time. And having experienced recently, a lot of transition, people, when I say transition, I mean people dying. Um, and even going through, when we were going through COVID, 500,000 people died, right?
Right.
And recently, and I don't know if it's just a factor of aging as you get older, more people are making their transition. But, recently having people die and having people die who I think are young, like feeling, we usually 70, 80, 90 now. We live longer. So when people die in their 40s and their 50s and they're at the peak of their life and they're out, they're not here
Yeah.
anymore. That's
Oh
one,
yeah.
it's really sad to me, but it also makes me present to what you're saying, which is don't waste time. Like each day is a gift, and what we do with that gift each and every day. My sister is here visiting with me and we've just been acting a fool all week, but every day, we've done something special other than me working because, I work every day, but she's been
Right.
helping me with that and, just creating experiences um, every day that she's been here. But I'm really present to my life is a gift, and every day that I can touch somebody, that I can make a difference for somebody, that I can make a difference for myself. And what I do with that day is important. And God uses us as vessels for other people, right? To just be open to what the Holy Spirit is having me do that day for somebody else is very, very important. So I like that takeaway. Don't waste your days. Don't Tomorrow's coming, but you're in today. So what you gonna do today? That's so very important. And then also, being mindful of who your superheroes are, and uh, there's social media, there's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all of the platforms, and you can choose a lot of different people to admire and to emulate and to whatever, but to be mindful of who it is you're looking up to. And I think, Brother Chauncey, you're a phenomenal person to look to because you've been through something, you've been through the test, and you definitely have a testimony. And that's the purpose of the test. The purpose of the testimony is to show the test is to show that you can pass it. And then you share that testimony. You got that A. Hey, you went through the test, you passed the test, and now you're at a point where you can share with someone else so they don't have to go through what you went through. Or if they go through it, your encouragement to know that they can get through it, to get to the A, to get to a different way, that it is possible. So I'm really proud that you wrote the book, How Adversity Propelled Me to Change. And then you have the second book. And I was like, wait a minute now. I
Mhm.
love this title, Serving Two Masters, Dysfunction by Circumstances. So what was the transition into the second book and why that title? That's a powerful title, but that's saying some things.
Well, yes, of course it is. Interesting you ask because your life tells a story. Um, the first book, How Adversity Propelled Me to Change, while serving two masters, dysfunction my circumstances, and I'll make all of the titles fall into sequence with each other, and it'll it'll develop a paragraph of meaning that defines my life. So, being dysfunction by circumstances, it entitles the fact that we all have been dysfunctioned by some type of circumstance in life, whether it was abuse, uh, molestation, whether it was sabotage, whether it was being bullied. Everyone has encountered some type of situation that has allowed them to be dysfunctional in life, to where some people haven't come back from that, and some people are still mentally, physically, and spiritually, they are physically they're wounded by these dysfunctions. um so this is a form of rehabilitation. This book, because like from a therapeutical standpoint, I was able to rehabilitate myself with the material that I was able to write, because I've been dysfunctioned by circumstance, at some point in time, and I've been able to shake that. A lot of people, like I said, they just need necessary to help them navigate themselves back into a level of being, functional again. To whereas, like a lot of our communities, there's no distinguished group or organization that is exempt in conversation. Everyone suffers from some type of mental trauma, which has been labeled by some professionals as mental illness. Okay, so this book, coming from where I came from, being the type of person that I was, in reference to who I am now, it gives a solidified meaning to the components of the information because, like, I was able to dig deep within myself. I finished that book. I started and at that time I was separated from my wife as well. And God has been leading me throughout my entire 5 years and 4 months that I've been released from incarceration. He's been leading me and guiding me in directions beknownst to me. Like, sometimes, like when he told Lot to, leave with his wife, sometimes we don't, it's not good for us to ask questions. Sometimes when the Lord says go, you have to just leave, just go. And I went, and because that's where my life began. And that's where I picked up the necessary tools that I have right now to survive the attacks of the enemy. Whenever you're confronted with a situation, sometimes most people are not fast thinkers. Most people are just reactors and not responders. Like I learned how to respond rather than react to situations. When you respond to a situation, you give yourself time to conjure up the right thoughts on how to execute this problem, or maybe even a situation or circumstance that may be presented itself to you in a very inappropriate manner. Sometimes if you don't think and react rather than respond, you may find yourself in a very, uncomfortable position. So, having said that, this book, it's 12 chapters, but it's a very meticulous 12 chapters. Like these chapters entail the information of being able to avoid going to a place that you don't want to go. Like it may be to prison, it may be to hell, it may be to a mental institution, it may be to a psych ward, it may be to, maybe even a procedure that you're not ready to face. Listen, you live by choices that you make, and you die looking like the choices that you make. So you may have to choose wisely. You have to choose wisely in life, because if you make the wrong decision, it'll cost you, like I said before, it was a takeaway that you like, it'll cost you time out of your life. So, just be conscious and be wise, and, about how you take information. And having done so myself, I was able to come up with this book. And, as I said before, I will never try to imitate someone that I'm not, and that's what this book is all about. This book is about, being open with people, letting people know that I'm no different from you. Just as you suffered, I've suffered as well. But I've been able to come up with a creative design to help me get over my past experiences.
Indeed. I want us to shift for a minute, and I want you to put on your author hat. And if you were to give a tip or talk about a challenge, in terms of the process of writing, writing, publishing, marketing, whatever area you want to pick, what was a challenge for you? And what tip would you give to other authors out there who are thinking about writing a book?
Okay, so What was challenging for me, it wasn't writing the book. That was easy. What was challenging for me was getting around the day-to-day circumstances of life. You have to block everything out. You know how you can have writer's block? You have to have people's block. You have to block, like they have block on social media. You have to block people sometimes. You have to block situations and circumstances. Because when I was writing my book, I was homeless and didn't have anywhere to stay. I lived in foster homes. I live in not foster homes, but I live in shelters, homeless shelters. While I was going through the process of, and most weeks I was broke because I was paying a book note for like maybe 10 months and being displaced. Don't allow day-to-day circumstances to cause you not to complete the process. Don't start anything and don't finish it. Always follow through with it, no matter what.
That's powerful. That's powerful, and it's very helpful because if you can write, finish, and complete your book, given all of the challenges and conditions that you had to address. For other authors, write the book, finish the book, get to completion, because there's a blessing for somebody out there. Excuse me. There's a blessing for others, through what's being birthed through you. So thank you for sharing that. That was powerful. I needed that. Thank you. I need to finish my book. Yeah. I got several books inside of me that's just like, just do it, as they say with Nike, just do it. So what's next for you, for Mr. Chauncey? What's next on the horizon?
First of all, I want to congratulate you on everything. And I also want to give you a word of encouragement. Eventually, whatever's inside of you will come out of you. It may have taken this initial encounter for you to embrace the potential talents and gifts that you have inside of you, to actually implement the effort of exercising the ability to write, despite whatever you may be faced with every day, working every day, not having the time, the adequate amount of time to finish the or complete the project. And second of all, what's next for me? What's next for me is a level of elevation that no man that has been placed in my situation has ever experienced before. Growth, change, constant change. A more in-depth form of transformation, increase. That's what's next. Constant propelling. You know what a propeller is? Something that actually pushes, or it gives a boat, the ability to cruise down a stream of water. This is I'm always a vessel. A boat is named a vessel. So I'm just, that's why I decided to name that book "How Adversity Will Permanently Change," because God labels us as being vessels, and being a vessel, I have room. I have room for people to get aboard. What I'm actually doing. So more book signings, more initial encounters with people who have experienced the things that I've experienced and need someone to talk to, making myself available to other people. This is next. What's next? A lot of different adventures. Traveling is next. Adventures are fun. You said you spend time with your sister, your family, and I admire that because, I live with my sister now. And I was able to, take her shopping last week, and she enjoyed herself. I mean, I took her down to our old city of New Orleans, and I was able to, allow her to just walk into the store, and I sent her some money on Cash App. I was like, just get you a couple outfits and just, enjoy the day, and that's what I want to do. Any way I can bring joy to someone, that's what I'm here for. That's what everyone's purpose is, to serve someone else. And that's what's
Mhm.
next for me, to become a better servant to others.
Amen. Amen. Well, Godspeed to you, Brother Chauncey. For those of you who are out there listening to this broadcast, get Mr. Taylor's book, How Adversity Propelled Me to Change, and um, the second title,
Mhm.
Serving Two Masters, Dysfunction by Circumstances. Yeah. Get both of the books. Get both of the books. Read them, share them, give them as gift to other people, especially our young Black men. Get them this book, right? And do you have copies of the book? Hold them up so people can see the books there. But get his books,
Yes,
read
I
the
do.
books, share the books with other people. And if people want to contact you, how would they contact you?
Um,
Oh,
you
there
can
we go.
contact me through Facebook, uh, Instagram, my Facebook page, Taylor. My Instagram page is Chauncey Taylor 78, and my um, TikTok. TikTok is Chauncey DT. Yes, Chauncey DT. Chauncey D dot T, lowercase. Um,
Okay.
and that's how you can access. Oh, and I also have my email is taylorchauncey617 at gmail.com, taylorchauncey99 at yahoo.com, and I also have my telephone numbers available. You can call me on my personal line. You can call me at 601-913-2064. And if you need any type of, I'm going to school to be a social worker. So if you want counseling, whether it's with relational issues, childhood behavioral issues for your kids, whatever you find yourself struggling with from a life or day-to-day circumstance or situational standpoint, maybe even some spiritual endeavors, um, I have necessary material that can actually help you get to the next level with that
That's amazing. So there's some dots by your name, and you can put your email or whatever your preferred contact method is up under your name, and that'll be on this video forever and ever. So you might want to do your email um, so that people can have it moving forward. So you could do that while I do our closeout. I just want to thank you. I want to
okay.
thank you for being transparent. I want to thank you for heeding the obedience of the Holy Spirit and letting the words flow through you. I want to commend you for doing the work necessary to step into a different being, a different space of being for yourself that's more powerful and the superhero that young Black men can look up to and know that all things are possible, that all things are possible. And I know that as you move forward, the service that you provide to others, not only through your book, but just for being who you are and being a positive role model, and the information that you have to share with people to
Right.
help them grow as you grow, I think is really incredible. So just thank you. And thank you for joining today on the show and sharing your story, sharing your book, and sharing yourself. So
Yes,
I
ma'am. No
want to
problem.
thank
Thank you as well for the opportunity to be on your show. Yeah. Mhm.
Awesome, awesome. So I want to thank those of you who tuned in today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I know that you have received many nuggets and pieces of value today. Please like and subscribe to the channel, but more importantly, share this video, share this information with other people. Purchase Mr. Taylor's book, Chauncey Taylor. Broadcast as well, where you can go directly to his book. You can find me on at Clara Lyons-DeVaughn on all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And on YouTube, there's lots of content on ways that you can max both your financial wealth and your intellectual wealth. So this includes, I'm on this plant-based journey, so I want people to be healthy as well. So here at Lyonsview Realty, we provide you with ESP. Let's see if I can get this slide up, which is expertise, solutions, and patience. We help people before, during, and after, and real estate professionals build careers in real estate. And a lot of people ask me, what is a Lyonsview lifestyle? If you look at some of the things, it says hashtag Lyonsview lifestyle. So a Lyonsview lifestyle is where you actualize your dreams into reality. It's the possibility of what is available when your life is in order, when your finances are in order, when your health is in order, when your spiritual mindset is in order. And as Brother Chauncey says, when you are conscious, when you are thinking about and being intentional about the things in your life. So I just want to invite you to join us again next Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You've been listening to Lyonsview Financial Fridays. My name is Clara Lyons-DeVaughn. Hope to see you next week. And as we roll out the Saturday series and the Monday series, the Saturday series is going to be about our authors and our Lyonsview lifestyles, our intellectual wealth. Monday is Meatless Mondays. It's about your healthy lifestyle. And on Fridays, Financial Fridays. But until the next time, keep living your best. You really appreciate you for joining us today and for sharing your stories.
Likewise. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
You too.
Thank you.